Oh, shalom, shalom, everybody. We are back again on our Zoom meeting for the Heartbeat E-Club. I'm going to ask Miss Mary Jane to please pray us in.
Loving God, thank you for this opportunity to get together internationally, to meet people from all over the world, to share the Rotary ideals and projects and our own projects and concerns. We thank you for all that you give us. We thank you for this day, for getting up in the morning and starting the day. And we pray that you'll be with us and guide us throughout this meeting and in the days to come. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. While you have the floor, can you tell us what it is you're grateful for today?
Well, I have a 12-year-old, almost 13-year-old granddaughter who's going to arrive around noon today just to stay overnight. She lives in Rochester, New York, which is about 220 miles from where I live. So I don't see her too often. So it's going to be fun to have a granddaughter.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That is fun. How many granddaughters do you have?
I have 9 grandchildren. Only 2 of them are boys, so 7 girls, 7 granddaughters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's neat.
But 2 of them, this will sound strange, but 2 of them I've never met. They're in Ghana. It's really not official, but they're a brother and sister that Carrie met when she first went to Ghana years and years ago when they were just little kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they were orphans, and she started paying their school fees, and eventually the girl came to live with her, and they consider her mom and she considers them her kids. And it's not official, but they're 31, the boy's 31 and the girl is in her late 20s. And Carrie's been able to get them through school. The boy is a veterinary tech now, and the girl has a 3-year post-secondary business degree and is working in an office. So they're my grandchildren, but I only know them through Facebook.
I hear you. I hear they still your grandchildren.
Still my grandchildren.
Still your grandchildren.
Carrie's on now.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
So I better stop talking about
Carrie. She's still, her audio is still loading.
Yeah.
Hey, Carrie, we understand if you don't come in on video because of the network where you are. So we acknowledge that, and we definitely excuse you for that. So
hello, thank you.
Say that again.
I said thanks. Thank you. I'm glad to join today. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. On my end, it's kind of dragging a little bit. So yeah, but I could make out what you were saying.
Great, thanks.
So while we have you on the floor, can you tell us what it is that you are grateful for today?
Sure. I'm grateful that I think it's going to be 2 weeks that I'll be coming back to the US. So I've been busy preparing for that and getting things ready. So I'm really grateful that things are kind of going smoothly. And soon I'll be back in the US.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Hopefully you will have time in your, I know you're going to be busy and running around and catching up with family and friends. But while you are planning, could you try and consider to give us a presentation while you are here via Zoom?
Oh yeah, that would be wonderful. I definitely want to do that.
Yeah. Oh, great.
So let's start planning towards it.
Okay, I'll touch base with you via WhatsApp and take a look at some dates. Dr. Mr. Niski Yuna Rotary over there.
Great.
What are you grateful for today, Lan?
Well, I'm very grateful to have the tools that Rotary gives us. And one of them that Rotary has introduced us to is Mooncatcher. So I'm very grateful that Carrie wants to start it and that she'll be here in August. And we'll have the opportunity to meet with Ellie von Walsheim and make sure she has all the tools that she needs to get that started. And at the same time, I'm just awestruck by some of the things that people have accomplished, like Carrie, like Pastor T, like Alice, who's headed for Nigeria, like Dr. Liss, who has done so much in Malawi. And I think in many respects, well, I was going to say Dr. Liss fortunately has the bank of himself. So he's been able to fund a lot of his ideas. We have the ideas, but then we have trouble with the funding. But the things that he's accomplished, where he's reduced malaria to such a low amount so easily by just growing Artemisia, where he's been able to get rid of the extreme high rates of diarrhea in the kids by just providing chlorinated tablets. The fact that he's planting 500,000 trees at 2 cents a piece. This is all astounding. And there, as we know, there's a lot of people who want to do good work and their money tends to get wasted. Boy, have we got some great places for them to help that are very, very cost effective, and where there's, like in Dr. Liss's case, there's absolutely no administrative costs because he covers all that. Well, I'm just grateful. And bottom line, I'm grateful to know such people like Carrie and Pastor T, Alice, Dr. Liz, and so many others doing such amazing things, all so unselfishly.
Well, we are grateful for you because you are always supporting us and cheering us and encouraging us and telling other people about the work that not only just we are doing, but other people as well that are doing even more greater work than what some of us are doing. So I really appreciate that. And I am grateful for you. I'm also grateful for my grandson. My grandson came here last night. His dad and her girlfriend dropped him off, and his girlfriend dropped him off. So he's gonna be with me for a week. I was hoping for 2 weeks, but it looks like it might be just a week. We'll see. So I'm grateful for him.
How old
9
is
years
he?
old. He's 9 years old, and he lives in Albany, or rather in East Greenbush. Really, he just got up. He just woke up. Say hi.
Hi.
You're tired? You want me to go downstairs?
What, does he actually live in Albany, or is he in one of the?
Yeah, he used to live in Albany and went in North Colony.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, South Colony. And then he moved this past year to East Greenbush.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are all close to me.
Yeah, his first 5 years he lived with me.
Good.
And now you're about 2 hours south of him?
Yeah. So and so his dad also lives back there too. Okay, so those are the things I'm grateful for. Family time. Yesterday we had an impromptu family time that took hours. It was good though, but it took hours.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so Sunil, you just joined us. What are you grateful and welcome? What are you grateful for today?
thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm very thankful to God. He always bless us. And today, it's very grateful for me that these days I'm on holiday. So I spend time at home and due to Eid al-Qurban, Eid al-Qurban, we are on holidays, and we, I have, I have work for my parents and for my family at
Mhm.
home, and I spend time with them, and I thank to God. He blessed me with nice parents who loves me and who care me, and He
Yeah.
give them an opportunity to help them and to spend some time to serve for them too.
Mm.
Because the parents are the blessing for kids and for children. So I'm very happy I'm living with my parents.
Great. Thank you so much, Sunil. Thank you. Next item, do you learn before you give us the Rotary minutes? Do you have any inspirational quotes from Alois?
Yes, Lois shared, these are the most recent two.
Okay.
People hear your words, they hear you, but they feel your attitude.
Mm.
They hear your words, but they feel your attitude. And the other one is by Ellen DeGeneres, and maybe you need to know her background, that she was one of the first TV personalities to admit that she was a lesbian. And it could have crushed her career. I mean, it was at the time, I mean, people weren't getting arrested for it, but it was pretty horrible. But she says, by opening your heart and your mind, you're going to be much more compassionate. You're going to be much more compassionate. Open your heart, open your mind. Think, don't be so wrapped up in the way you've thought in the past. It doesn't mean give up your values, but open up your mind, open up your heart. And compassion is what makes the world a better place.
Yeah.
That's why
Before
we're
you
here this
added that,
morning.
yes. Before you
For
added that,
compassion.
I was gonna say compassion is the key. Compassion is the key. Absolutely.
And with all of the split thinking in the United States right now, opening your heart and mind to at least listen to the other person.
Yeah.
And even as we sit around the Rotary table, we have people of different religions, different cultures, different nationalities, different. Sometimes something happens in the world and half of us celebrate and the others are sad. But it doesn't mean we can't open our hearts and minds and listen to one another and be best of friends to do great things.
Yes.
To make the world a better place.
Yeah. Agreed. Rotary minutes from you too.
Rotary Minute. Okay, and for that, I'll share the screen. Every year, every July 1, there's a new Rotary year, a new Rotary president. And this year, it's groundbreaking, it's historical. For the first time ever, we have a woman president. Her name is Jennifer Jones. She attended one of our district conferences, so I did get to spend some time with her. She is a remarkable woman, and I got to hear her speak. She's a Canadian. Every year, the president picks a theme, and her theme is to imagine Rotary. And that's her, imagine Rotary. And yesterday, I listened to a couple of her videos, and I jotted down some of the key points. She said, new members bring fresh perspective energy, and expertise. And this club is less than a year old, so we're pretty much many of us are new members.
Mm.
And pay attention to how our members aspire to change, influence our communities and our world through their membership. How do they aspire to make differences? In fact, today's meeting is some of our members want to start microloans. So we're going to talk about how to help them change and influence their communities the way they want to. Ask members what they want from Rotary and then help them achieve their dreams. Again, we're doing that today as we talk about microloans. And we want to create lasting change in our communities, in our world, in ourselves. We all become better as we give to our communities. And she said, enrich your experience because we're people of purpose, we're people of influence, we're people of action. So that's my Rotary Minute.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned July. So since we are talking about July, I am going to write the ad that, as you said, our year starts in July 1st. So that also means that our Jews are due.
Yes.
It's a play with words there. But yeah, our Jews are due. Our Jews are for our club. We pay $175, and correct me if I'm wrong. $175 for the Rotarian, and then $7, I think, or $8 for Rotaract. So we opened up our club for Rotaract as well. So yeah.
And 4 of our members are Rotarians. Those are you, Yvonne, Ileana, and Grace.
Yes. So your Jews are due, and for those of you who are not in the US, we really don't have an expectation of you sending your $8 to us. But we ask that you put that money into a project that you are working on and send us either a receipt, some form of receipt, some form of documentation that this money went to what project. That's all we ask.
Spend your $8 locally and we'll cover it.
Yes, we also have some Rotarians who were gracious last year to help pay for some of the Rotaracts as well as Rotarians, their fees, and or rather their dues, and I'm sure some more will come up as well. So if you need, don't let dues be the reason why you don't join us, is basically what I want to say.
Right.
So let us know if you are outside of the US. We will have you, like I said, use that money to do projects there. And it's because to send $8 to the US might actually be more costly than the $8 itself. Of course, the Rotary dues, those we expect to be sent to us. And then the Rotarians here will raise the money to cover your dues for those of you who at least send us some proofs of you've utilized this money. Or show interest. Yes.
May I ask a question? So I'm a member of Delmar Rotary. Delmar's outside of Albany. And I pay dues there. I really don't understand what Rotaract is, and I don't know what my responsibility is with this group as far as, my understanding is you only pay dues in one club. So, but I don't understand what Rotaract is and whether that's, whether I should give you $8.
That is absolutely, I'll answer you what I know, and then I'll ask Lon to answer what I am not quite sure to be able to answer effectively. So yes, you only pay your dues to that one club. And you are welcome to us as always. And you are welcome to join any committees that we have. That's what we would expect from you, is coming to us. And then as far as the Rotaract is concerned, I'm going to say Lon to tell us what exactly it is. I know what it is, but I don't know if I can explain it to you.
Sure.
And then $8 if you are so inclined and you want to sponsor a Rotaract that's outside of the US, we will definitely take that $8 and give it and bless someone who is unable to pay the dues for whatever reason.
Yes, first I'll explain Rotaract. Rotaract is one of Rotary's programs. Just like Interact is sort of a Rotary club for high school age children, Rotaract is a Rotary club for the older children, usually in colleges. So it's like from 18 to 30. Recently, they lifted the upper age limit. So now a person can become a Rotaractor when they're 18, and they can be a Rotaractor their whole life. And the one nice thing is that the dues are so low. Now, the other thing that's brand new for Rotary is this new idea of a satellite club. So the Niskayuna Rotary has created the Heartbeat E-Club satellite group. And a satellite club, by definition, can have a mix of Rotarians, Rotaractors, and people who are members of other clubs. That's a new concept. Before, you had to pick. I'm a member of this club. I can participate in the other club, but I can't be a member. But Mary Jane, you can be a Rotarian in Del Mar, and you can say you are a member of Heartbeat. And you certainly are. You're one of our most loyal attendees. So that
Okay.
explains Rotaract, and that explains your dual membership. And because Pastor T, as she explained, we have a dozen members that are around the world that we're not asking them to send us $8 just because it costs more to get it here than the $8. So local Rotarians have been chipping in to cover those costs. So even though you don't need to pay an $8 dues, if you do, we'll use it to cover one of the other Rotarians, like Sunil, for example.
Mm-hmm. So where would I send that?
To our club oh no, it's to Pastor T has the treasury, right?
Yes, I will send you. You can either send it via. You can do it direct, like a Zelle. I don't know if you're using Zelle yet, or you are familiar with Zelle. Zelle is a bank-to-bank transfer, and there are no fees attached to it. Or you can send it via PayPal.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you use such apps as Cash App, you can also use that. Or you can send a check all the way.
Send a check.
Old-fashioned way. That will do too. So what I will do is I'll send you an email.
Okay.
With all those details so that you have them at your disposal. And if you want me to explain Zelle, I will do that as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so today we wanted to talk about
starting a
microloan.
microbank.
Oh my God, I had a senior moment there. My apologies. We want to talk about microloans, microfinancing, microloans. People call it all kinds of different things. So let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
No.
No?
I can't see it. No.
You cannot see it?
No.
We just see,
I can,
we see you.
we cannot see.
Or you still see
Yeah,
me?
we see you.
Okay, hold on.
Yes, Pastor.
Let me. Let me do this. Yeah, okay. Oh, I had not selected the screen. I'm sorry. So I will just see this. On this screen. Oh, come on. This technology. Okay, there we go. Now can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so forgive me if I'm gonna go fast, but if I'm going too fast, let me know. I'm trying to run with time. So NGO-led micro loan programs. And I said NGO-led because I'm trying to speak from our perspectives. There are some other organizations out there who do microloans, but I'm going to continue at a different level. I will talk about one of them, and then the rest are really microloans programs. So what is it? In its simplest term, it is the provision of financial services to low or no income communities with the aim of creating social value and economic empowerment. It is not a new concept. I know the name itself might seem like it's a new concept, but it really isn't. The name is new, but this has been in oh, what I didn't put that over there. My apologies. How did I do that? What did I do? Okay. I confused myself here. These screens. Okay, so as I was saying, the concept itself is not new. It has been, even though for our generation, we probably started hearing about this in the 80s or the 90s, but this has been used in Nigeria, for example. It was introduced in the 15th century. This informal type of lending and borrowing. And then in Europe in 18th century, and then specifically in Ireland, a man called Jonathan Swift, he was an author. He started a fund to help poor people in his community of Ireland. Some features that may be of interest is, or actually before I go there, I wanted to talk about the general demographic that usually benefit from microloans, although this list is not exhaustive, but for the most part, it's women. They are rural based and sometimes even peri-urban. And then they cannot get loans from traditional institutes due to lack of or limited assets for collateral. And then there are also minorities. One of the things that I found pretty interesting as I was doing this research is I didn't realize that even in the developed countries, there are people who are getting microloans. I really thought it was specifically for developed countries, but kind of forgetting that within the developed countries, there are also some individuals who need that hand, who cannot go to traditional banks. And also even SBAs, like small businesses in the US, they utilize the microloan as an institution to get loans for their businesses, either to grow it, to start it, or to even pay bills. So that was something that I didn't realize, I didn't know. And then we have some features of interest. They tend to be small amounts. Some groups have actually capped, like I read about India. India caps its money to 7,000 rupees. I'm not sure, I forgot to calculate how much that 7,000 rupees is. Grace, if you can do a quick Google and let us know, that would be great. 7,000 rupees is the cap in India. And then they are generally short term. So short term, I mean, 6 months to a year, and maybe 18 months with some of them. And then they are low to no costs, or no costs to low interest rates. They are extended to self-employed individuals as well, as I said earlier, and then also to new startups, and then they are low capital requirements. They have a low capital requirement. And then micro lenders often offer free business mentorship, training, and other assistance to their participants, which is a cool thing. Yes, sir.
And the 7,000 rupees converts to $88, but in general terms, I'd say $100. The loans are under 100 in India.
Okay, all right. Oh, that's great. That's great. See, Grace, you're too slow. You're too slow.
My internet, I was checking if my VPN was connected. I was like, oh.
That's okay. Just busting your chops. Some more, okay, and some more features of interest. There are, like I said, NGOs or nonprofit organizations are the most common micro lenders. It is an empowerment tool for the marginalized poor, especially women. The delivery or distribution usually through self-help groups. It's essential for promoting self-employment. It's funds are provided to participants with no collateral. It also unleashes human creativity and brings it to life for us. I mean, underfunded communities are not short of ideas. Like Lan and I are always kind of talking about that. They have the ideas. They know what kind of business they want to do. They just don't have the capital. And then also microloans are generally not regulated by governments, which makes it easier to move funds around. And then the benefits, I might repeat some of them here, which I talked about earlier, but some of those benefits are, again, reducing poverty for rural communities, even peri-urban. It improves the social economic status of women. It removes traditional barriers such as need to have assets which traditionally are in the man or son's name. Husbands or sons or male relatives are required in the traditional banks to provide collateral or to co-sign, and also unattainable or unrealistic collateral would be asked of the women. I know specifically of the Women's Bank in Zimbabwe. They were asking for collateral that women don't have. So already that's a barrier, and it's really unfortunate. And then they tend to be better informed, like the participants tend to be better informed since they participate with some form of workshops and trainings. And it also boosts morale and self-esteem, and they are designed for the entrepreneurial poor as well. Some countries that actually made microloans become popular in the 80s and the 90s is Bangladesh. Bangladesh and India are like right at the top. Bangladesh and India, and then Nigeria, Nigeria, Bolivia, and Cambodia. That is not to say these are the only, I said some of the countries that did that are out there. And then types of currencies that are used is the traditional, the different types of monies, the yen, the reais in Brazil, the yen in China, the rand in South Africa, the US dollar. The US dollar tends to be all over the place too. In other countries, they trade with US dollars. Different currencies that are allowed in each country. And then they also trade in non-traditional types of currencies. Some people would, or some entities would give perhaps a couple of goats. And then once those goats give birth to more goats, then they also are encouraged to take one of those goats and give to another woman to take care of them. So they use livestock as well, which I think is pretty cool, because sometimes money is not enough to even buy that goat. So if I were to give somebody, for example, with Kiva, the smallest amount they give is $25. If I'm talking in respect to Zimbabwe, in Zimbabwe, a goat, you generally don't get it for $25. It's probably $30, $35 or more. So, but if I give somebody a goat, then they can take care of that goat, and then once it gives it gives birth, usually it's the female one that they give, so that they can ask their neighbors who have male goats to make the female goat pregnant, and then they can get some milk out of it. They can sell the milk and make income, and then once the baby is grown, they can also this also milk from cows as well. So this even grows their income a little bit, and they are able to, like I said, to give another goat to another woman to be able to use it to start their own little program or project. So how does it work? Well, first things first, right? Individuals like Alice in Nigeria started with her own $5,000. And we are going to hear more about her from Lan, or maybe she will join us. So we'll see which one is going to happen. And then NGOs raise funds that are specifically earmarked for microloans. Groups of women in developed countries put together funds, and they donate to groups or to NGOs. And then there are other entities where people utilize to raise funds, like GoFundMe, Donately, Give Smart, Fundly, Bonfire. I'll talk more about Bonfire later. Donate Kindly, and Kickstarter are some of those that are out there that are like the top online-based fundraising programs. And then Heartbeats can set aside an amount when we can part of our budget as we are raising funds, as we start having money in our coffers. We can then say, you know, we are going to take 10% of what we have to support our members' projects. So that's an option. So now that we have kind of touched on where the funds come from, what then once you have those funds? Well, I am doing this. I am making a lot of assumptions with this. I'm making a lot of assumptions, and we are also I'm assuming that you have done your homework. You are now ready to do this. So now you have an opening balance. Like, for example, if we take the example of Alice, who started with $5,000. So you have your $5,000. You set up your criteria, the criteria of who is eligible, how much are you going to be giving them, and for what projects, and the payments, how are the payments, what is the payment process, who do they pay, how do they get the money first of all, and how do they pay back, and over what time, and are there any rates? Oh my God, I wrote rats. Are there rats? No, I mean rates. Oh my God. Rats. And also there's criteria in there that you have to start with. And then you recruit the women, you do some workshops, business, entrepreneurship 101, 101, or marketing, whatever workshops that you can give. And sometimes the workshops that you do are driven by the women you are serving. What is it that they feel they need to know more about? And so then you have to adjust accordingly. And then after your initial training, you distribute the funds. If you're giving each person $100, then you're giving, then you distribute. If you are giving each person $500, you're doing that as well. And of course, you're always keeping records. You're always keeping records, and have an Excel spreadsheet, some kind of record. And then people go and do their projects, and then you collect your loan payments according to your agreement at the start of your criteria. And then once you do that, money comes back, you rinse and repeat. The cycle, that money, people that pay back, you take that money into giving other people. I'll talk about Kiva. Kiva does it a little bit different, so I'll talk about that a little bit. It's a different model. Kiva, they give you, let me just close this a little bit. Let me stop share a little bit. Oh, I didn't mean to stop share. I want to show you what Kiva does. They have a different model which I thought was also pretty interesting. So there we go. So with Kiva, a borrower applies for the loan. So a borrower applies for the loan, and then the loan goes through the underwriting and approval process. Oh, sorry. You were not seeing what I'm seeing? My apologies. Now you're seeing it. Okay, so Kiva, you apply for the loan, and then the loan goes through the underwriting and approval process. And then loan is dispersed. There's a dispersal period. Loan is posted to Kiva for lenders to support. And then fundraising period, the lenders crowd fund the loan in increments of $25 or more. So if the borrower says, I have a project that is $100, for example, and I am I'm a lender with Kiva, if I can't afford, or if I don't want to donate to lend all the $100, 4 of us who don't want to lend $400, I mean $100 each, will do $25 each to make that 100. So Kiva gives that opportunity to kind of bring it to spread out whatever that amount for different people to support one project. And then when fundraising is complete, somebody has given one person or several people have given that $100, for example, the borrower then is given the money, and then the borrower repays the loan. So when they repay the loan, us who have lent the money, Like if I lend my $25, I have an option to say, put it back to circulate, or I want my money back. I want to just withdraw back my $25. So that's how Kiva does it, which is, like I said, a little bit different. Why do I keep saying stop share instead of?
While you're talking about Kiva, may I show what Niskayuna Rotary does with Kiva?
Yes, sure.
This is
Yeah.
the, if you go to the kiva.org website and search for the Niskayuna Rotary lending team, you'll see that we have 20 team members that have signed up. Each of us put in about $100. So that's about 2,000 invested, but we've managed to give 9,000 in loans. You see where it says $9,020 amount funded. We've made 346 loans total. So with $2,000, our money has gone through the system so many times that we've been able to give $9,000 in loans. And when any of us go, and like right now, Helen takes care of it for our family. And she'll get an email to say, oh, you have $25 in your account. I noticed yesterday she has 23. But so she could add $2 more and make a loan. But when it's up to 25, she'll get a message. Then she can pick who she wants to give it to. And you see the pictures on the left. Somebody recently donated to Randy, my brother-in-law, John. Don't pick Randy, somebody in the United States. And John also loaned to Teresita in the Philippines. Joe, a former member, he gave to somebody in Paraguay. So you look through the photos of people who are looking to borrow, and you pick somebody. And if you want to filter it to start out, you can say, well, I want to give to somebody in Zimbabwe, or I want to give just to women or men or to a group, or I want to give to somebody who's wants to do something with agriculture. You can filter it because when you first go on the website, there's thousands of people who are looking for the loans. So you can filter it to find out, to pick who you're going to loan to. And in a nutshell, Kiva is the connector between, on the one hand, the borrower that wants it and the lender. Kiva is nothing more than a website that connects lenders like Niskayuna Rotary with the microloan banks that are in the countries. And the microloan banks are the ones doing all the work, meeting the people, taking their picture and posting it on the website.
So I'm looking at the clock and we are 2 minutes before the time we are scheduled to finish. So I want to take a poll and see if each of you is prepared to stay maybe another, at the most, 20 minutes. If not, we can schedule next week, the week after. Oh, perfect. Great, great. Thank you so much. So now, when you mentioned Kiva, and I'll talk about that, about who they serve and where, towards the end as well. So that's really good. I did not know that Niskayuna does that. That's really good. Yeah, I might want to jump on the wagon.
In fact, Pastor T, we have a program. We've got some money set aside where if you put in $25, the club will put in $75. So you can start right out giving to 4 people with just $25.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Wow. Count me in. Count me in. Definitely. I'd love to do that. Now, let me go back to my presentation. Okay. And then, oh, I didn't share screen. Okay, so some things for us to consider as we are thinking about perhaps starting our own bank, if you will, our own projects where we ourselves are driving that we ourselves are driving the project or the giving the dispersing of the money. Consider identifying somebody. I don't know why I wrote identity on there, but maybe I was thinking about what's my identity in Christ or whatever, you know, I don't know.
Identify a local trusted volunteer.
Yes, you have to identify a local trusted volunteer wherever you're deciding to do it. If you're deciding to do it in whatever country, Pakistan, Zambia, Malawi, Brazil, wherever, find somebody trusted in that community. Most people, when they are identifying a local banker or a local field agent, they generally would find somebody who already has their own money. So they don't need to be taking money from, you know, they have their own money, therefore they are not tempted to go for the money that's not theirs. But I have seen some people who don't necessarily are not business people, and most of those people tend to be business people. And I have seen some people who are not necessarily business people, but have been much more faithful than some business people. So it's really going with who you feel is most trusted. And once you have identified that person, to at least consider, I know some people do it from a volunteer perspective, but consider providing a stipend for that individual for the time that, especially if you are dealing with people from underdeveloped communities, and that person is also kind of trying to put food on the table, and you are asking them to put in this time to train, follow up, disburse money. Consider putting a little bit for stipend as well, and or other benefits. Maybe the stipend may not necessarily come in as money, or maybe you can give them a loan with a different expectation of payment, maybe extra time to pay, whatever, something, so that they also have something for their families. And then consider having a job description. It's very important in my book, to be able to know exactly what is expected of you. Consider providing training in the beginning and ongoing training and support as well throughout the time that they are doing this work for you. And then consider whether or not you are going to be giving individuals or groups, or maybe both. Some people do both. Some people do just consider only groups, and some people do individuals. I'll talk about the pros and cons in a minute. Identify and address barriers that may hinder success. And in identifying barriers, sometimes us who are out here in the developed countries, and we have a tendency of not intentionally, I know even when I was home recently, I would subconsciously keep telling myself, you don't know everything. You don't know everything. You don't know everything, because you have to trust the people whom you are trying to help, that they have a lot of knowledge. They may not, your knowledge and the knowledge that they have may not necessarily, the knowledge I have may not necessarily make sense to certain groups of people in Zimbabwe. So listen more and talk less, and adjust your trainings accordingly as you hear the conversations that are going on. Don't be stringent, like the quote from DeGeneres that Lan told us: have an open mind and open heart and compassion, and adjust as you go. Women payment rates are higher, so they just tend to be higher than men. When men are given money, the money doesn't come back as fast or even come back like they do with women. Encourage different projects to give better opportunities for supporting each other. So if somebody's selling, specializing in tomatoes, then don't all your group specialize in tomatoes. Let some of your people specialize in chickens, specialize in other things that other people are going to need in the community, peanut butter, or whatever, other things, so that you are making your money circulate. There are a lot of communities that do that, like, you know, the Jewish community, they do that. Money circulates around within their community, and it's very empowering, and it's a good thing to do. Set accountability parameters. And when I'm talking about parameters, I'm saying consider including the length of the loan. How much is it going to be? Are you giving it to them for 6 months? Or are you giving it to them for a year? Try not to put too long, 5 years, that now you start getting into people and not having enough money to turn it over for new participants. So, and then forms of payment are accepted. Are you going to accept only payment back in money? Are you going to accept payment in livestock? Or are you going to mix and match? Or are you going to say, you know what, your loan is for 6 months. I want to encourage you, if we have the capacity to waive 1 or 2 payments where you can pay in kind. If you are struggling, maybe you are struggling for that. If they are paying every week, or if they're paying every month, maybe somebody says, this week I'm struggling. What is it? What do you have as a fallback? What is it that you're telling people? What happens when they don't pay? When they don't pay you back at all? So you have what happens when they are unable to do the next payment, and then what happens when they don't pay? They cannot pay you back at all. What happens? And require a contract, an agreement, some kind of agreement that you sign with each other. They sign it and you sign it, and you are including co-signers. You sign it. So groups versus individuals. Some people prefer individuals and some people prefer groups. There is really no right or wrong. Groups tend to have more accountability because there are more people than are working on the project than just one person. They tend to encourage one another. They are less likely to fail. Their group members are potential co-signers. They are in the same boat, but they are also co-signing. And when they co-sign, maybe you can say, if you are going to be a co-signer, your co-signers, if you don't pay the bill, instead of the $5 a week that you owe us for every week that you don't pay, your co-signers are going to have to cough up whatever that amount is. I don't know, $1, $5, whatever it is. So they won't want to pay that $1. So they will encourage the group to make sure that that $5 payment is done. And also groups, if you're going to do groups, I suggest that you keep them small. It's easier to manage smaller groups than big groups. So my suggestion would be 3 or 5 members. Why do they need to be an odd number? Because when they need to vote on anything, there is somebody who breaks the tie. But if they are even, 2 people vote and the other 2 people vote at something else, and then what do you do? So having an odd number is good. And then do your due diligence. Before you get into it, take some time. I know that sometimes we get so excited, we want to start a project like right away, but do your due diligence and go on different websites and find out. I'm going to provide all the websites that I'm mentioning, all these keywords and the different organizations that I'm mentioning, so that you can go in there and look for yourselves. Check out other programs, like I'm saying, and make your list and check it twice. Make your list and check it twice. And then Some more features of interest is there are risks with this type of business or with this type of projects, like just like anything that you do in life, it comes with risks. Some risks are higher and low and whatever, but with this, there are some risks. There are some risks, like as I mentioned, with individuals. If you give an individual borrower risks, it includes stuff like if you give an individual, they can just run and go, and you have no way of getting back your $100 that you've given them, or they can keep giving you a run around, whatever. Group can also do that, but it's really rare that groups, all 5 of them would say, yeah, let's run away with this $500. It's not likely that they would do that. They may lose some members because some members may be too lazy or whatever, or they have other challenges or other priorities that take precedence. Something might happen and then they can always look for another member to join. But there is a chance that borrowers can be risky. And then especially when you are going into an area where, number one, this whole concept is new. There is a learning curve, right? For everybody, all of us, when we are getting into something new, there's always a learning curve. And then there are country-related risks. Country-related risks may talk about maybe there may be some regulations that you have to follow, or one of the biggest one is they don't necessarily have regulations. I am yet to come across even the poorest of the poorest countries, or even countries that are having unrest politically. In my research, I even come across a country that regulates microloans. I haven't seen it. So especially this grassroots type of microloans, I have not seen it. You may find somebody who might come to your meetings to see whether or not you are genuine and that you are not becoming political. Maybe you might get that, especially in Zimbabwe, you might get that. But one of the biggest thing is if you are operating in a country that has political unrest, where there are where there's a civil war or something is going on, they are in war with another country, something is going on, then there might be some problems there. So it's something to look at. And also currency, there's a risk with currency in terms of, for those that are getting money here in the US, it's dollar for dollar everywhere. But in other countries, that money has to be exchanged into the currency of that particular country that you want to operate in. And that exchange rate might not be, your $25 might end up being $50, tabo, or it might end up being less, depending with the rates that are in that country. So those are some of the things that need to think about. And then there are market shift risks. Market shift risks, the way I look at them is, for example, somebody decides, I want to make potatoes. I want to have potato garden. And while they were doing their research, they are seeing that potatoes are hot, and most people usually buy them in August, and then they run with it and they do all that. They do everything that they need to do, and then some kind of a weather pattern changes and nobody wants potatoes, or maybe there are just so many other people that are providing potatoes and you are just not able to manage in that field. There are different market shifts that can happen. Maybe we gave them $25 when what they really needed was $30 because there was an increase in purchasing certain things. So there are some countries where markets are very volatile, or rather they are fluid. So we need to take that into consideration and not jump into conclusion that, they are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. We gave them $100 and now they are telling us blah, blah, blah. Do your homework, do your due diligence, go online, find out somebody that you trust that can give you some information for that particular country. Rotary is filled with people from all over the world. Land can help you locate somebody. There's an app that you can locate a Rotary in your area, in those particular areas. But Land is very good at, you send him a message and you say, hey, I'm trying to connect with a Rotarian in this area. He can give you the phone number, the name, the place, the times, everywhere where they meet. Their hours of meetings and stuff, and then you can say, hey, I'm trying to do a project in your country. Can you please give me some information? This is the community that I'm trying to work with. What can you give me some pointers? And that's why we like Rotary. So here are some NGOs that are in the marketplace. Kiva, we already talked about Kiva. And then there is Zidisha. Zidisha is Swahili for, that means grow, as in grow, G-R-O-W. And then we have building resources across communities. BRAC is very popular in Bangladesh. They are huge in Bangladesh. They just don't do microloans only. Unlike most of these other organizations, they do other programs. They build schools, they provide wells, they expand their stuff. And then Women's Microfinancing Initiative, that's also another opportunity. I will give some statistics for each of them in a minute. And then a Global Sister Report is a global, is for, I found that I subscribe to Global Sister Report. It's Roman Catholic sisters who are doing things in different communities. They also have their, it's not as big as Kiva, not as big as Zidashi or any of these other organizations, but they are doing in their world, they are also doing some microloans. And their microloans, I like their microloans. Their microloans are, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Perhaps you've just had a hard time and you can't meet your bill. Maybe you just lost your job without expecting it, whatever, they will give you a hand. So I like that is broad for them. And then Bonfire, I put it in there, but it's really not, it's not giving money, or it's not, lending money as such, but it's a very good place to raise funds. Their model is, you go online, you put, you do your, sign up free, everything is free. You don't pay anything, and you start selling some products. Either you're selling t-shirts, you're selling sweatshirts, you can put some logos or some inspirational, you can create your own, and you put it in there, and you start selling it. They start selling it for you, and then they also ask you to put it on your social media, and people buy. And as people buy, whatever they buy, so if they buy a cup for $10, a Bonfire, because I was like, how does Bonfire, if they're giving me all the $10, the cost of my, or the $10 that it's for that t-shirt when somebody buys it, where are they getting their money? They get their money from the individual who bought that t-shirt. So when they buy the t-shirt, they say there is some shipping and handling and whatever, $10. Everybody, all of them are $10, and sometimes it's less than $10 depending on how much your state charges for taxes. So they are for profit. They are not an NGO as such, but most of their money is really, they are helping other NGOs. You can raise money as an NGO, as an individual, as a company, or as a group of friends. You can just do that. And I think it's really cool. It's residual income that you can make without even thinking about it. All you have to go do is to go and select what you want to sell and set up your store, and start talking about it on your social media, and people buy, and then you can use that money. We can use that money and put it in our Heartbeat's pocket and distribute it accordingly. Some interesting stats to marvel upon, at least I was marveling on. Alice, for example, our Rotarian, she has 100% return what is it called? Return rate, 100% payment return rate. She operates in Nigeria, and her projects, the monies are, in the beginning, she gave men and women, not equally, but men and women. And then now she only gives to women because men did not pay. And you can correct me, Lan, when you make that your presentation. And then Kiva has a 96.8% payment rate. Pretty cool. They serve in 78 countries, which is in 5 continents, and their individuals that they give are mixed, males, females, all over the world. And then building resources across communities. BRAC, they have, their clientele is 87% women. 99% report doubling their income within 6 months of participation. That's pretty cool. And then they give $100 to $250 at 10% interest rate. So even with that interest rate, people are still doubling their income within 6 months of participation. And so I think that's cool. Like I said, they are more big in Bangladesh, even though they have other countries that they operate in. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they operate in 11 countries. BRAC is in 11 countries. And then we have Women's Microfinance Initiative. Their payment rate is 98%. They are rural-based women, their clientele. 99% also report, wait a minute, I think I mixed 2 of these. I'm gonna have to correct it before I send it to you guys. My apologies. Zidai, or maybe I repeated it. Zidisha is in 5 countries. They have given out over $16 million, and they have more than 240,000 projects. Building resources across communities, I think I talked about that. Yeah, they have 87% women, 11%, in 11 countries, 5.6 million borrowers. 5.6 million borrowers. That's like mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. And now let's hear Alice's story, and then Lon and I will be happy to take some questions or comments after that. Lon, over to you.
Well, Alice was hoping to join us this morning, but she hasn't logged in. But I can say that, as you already mentioned, she started with $5,000 of her own money. She hired a lawyer for $60 who developed the contract. So everybody who got money signed a contract. Key to starting your own business is that microloan bank is that key person that you can trust. Pastor T made a very good point. It's good if they have their own resources. And what Alice did was she had a friend who was college educated and willing to do the work for free. And she's the primary operator of the bank. And we used Rotary Club Locator to locate a Rotarian who also participated. And he's the one who handed out the original loans, put the loans in the hands of people. Alice had the potential borrowers come for several meetings where they got to learn about how microloans were set up. And she gave out loans of $125 and $250. That's when she started. And her money has recycled at least 5 times with 100% payback. I'd also like to mention one other fellow. There's because we're the Rotary Club of Niskayuna, there's a high school graduate class of '86 named Vikram Akula. He started a microloan bank in India that grew to have 3,000 employees. He liked having 4 co-signers. so that if somebody couldn't pay their dollar back in a given week, the other 4 cosigners would put in 25 cents. And it's not just because now the bank gets their money back. Now the borrower does not have to convince the bank that your business will succeed. You have to convince your 4 cosigners. So now the bank doesn't have to get into business to try to evaluate whether they think your business plan will work. I really like that. Now, I did speak with Vikram Akula, and he shared with me his training manual. It's about 100 pages long. I do have a copy of that if anyone would like that. It had one of the most useful.
Electronic copy or in paper format?
Electronic.
Or electronic? Okay, yes, please share with us.
And one of the most useful things in it, I thought, was a list of typical businesses that people start. So that's all I have to add. And I want to ask for a copy of your slides, Pastor T.
Absolutely. I will send it to you.
But change rats to rates. I don't want rats.
I said. Okay, I will do that and change identity to identify. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns?
I think we have 2 of our members would like to start a bank. Yvonne when she moves back to Zimbabwe, and Kulwi, who's also in Zimbabwe. Isn't Kulwi the other one who expressed interest in doing this?
Yes, totally.
So in both cases, we have the key person. And as you mentioned, it's certainly fine if they want to charge 10%. I think it's good that even Vikram, the fellow who started the big bank in India, he argued for that a micro bank is better if it's profitable, because then it continues. If it just depends on donors,
yes,
which also works
at some point, self-sustained.
Right. It's nice if it can be self-sustaining, and charging 10%. I mean, if somebody gave me $100 and I had to pay back $2 a week for 50 weeks, I don't think it would bother me if I had to pay for 5 more weeks, had to pay $2 more.
Right.
That 10% wouldn't hurt me. I would hardly notice that I just had 4 more or 5 more weeks to pay that $2, but it allows the bank to cover some of their expenses and to let the key person earn some money for the time they're putting into it. So I'm certainly in favor of being profitable and sustainable.
So to our fellow members, what jumped at you? What jumped at you, or what surprised you, or what made you think, maybe I need a little bit more time, or I want to read some more on this? Like I said, I'm going to send you the links. I'll send the links into our email, into WhatsApp, but I will also send the whole thing as well. No surprises, no. And I know that it's a lot of information to take in, a lot of information to take in. I really tried to make it, packed, but not so packed. But if you're doing an interesting subject or something that you're really interested in, it's very hard to say, okay, let me leave this, I'll take this, I'll leave this. I'm sure, Ms. Brown, you appreciate that as a teacher when you're doing your lesson plans.
Well, I think this topic's really important. I think microloans is one of the key things to fight extreme poverty and also to help uplift people anywhere.
Yes.
And I would love it if this could be one of the topics on our website. Pastor T,
Okay.
I'm horrible at putting a website together, although it's gotten easier over the years. But 10, 20 years ago, I tried doing a website and I got, but it ain't what's my point? If this should be something on our website where people can come and
Absolutely.
learn how to start a microloan bank.
Yeah, I also see if I can put the slide on there as well.
Or how to make microloans for the people who don't want to start a whole bank, just knowing that they have these different resources for making a
Right.
make
Right,
it simple
right.
for the lenders.
Yes, yes. So I'll send you, I was going to peruse through the different websites, but because of our time, I'm going to send you the links so you all can look at them. I do not have a problem with us coming back in 2 weeks and going back again to this discussion, because I think it's really important. If everybody's in agreement, we can come back again after you have gone through the websites, so that what we put on our website is inclusive of all our ideas. It's not just my idea and Lance's ideas, but it's everybody's ideas. Because like Lance said in the beginning, diversity makes us opens up our minds, opens up other opportunities and other ways of thinking, schools of thoughts that we don't have. Hence we are together. So if you can, please review them with, I want to also contribute in this conversation. And whether you are contributing by saying, please add this, take out this, have you considered this? I think it's good the way it is. Thank you. Thank you so much, Alan. And thank you so much, Miss Mary Jane. I had two announcements. The first one, I did it already. Our dues, and so I'm just going to repeat it one more time. Our dues are due in this month of July. Our year starts in July. $175 for those who want to be Rotarians, and $8 for those who want to be Rotaracts. If you don't have a form to join, I'll send you a form. If you want to sponsor someone, you're free to do that, whichever side you want to sponsor, a Rotarian or a Rotaract or part of a Rotarian and stuff like that. And then the second thing, speaking of our website, while I was away, our website got taken off the market somehow, because I forgot to link my account with the place so that they can take money automatically. So I'm taking care of that, and then it should be back within by Tuesday. It should be back on by Tuesday. So I wanted everybody to know that. So if there are no more questions, thank you so much for your patience and for staying longer than we had originally planned to do. So I appreciate that from you guys, and have a blessed rest of your weekend. Enjoy your time with your grandchildren, those who are spending time with grandchildren. Enjoy your time with your parents, Sunil, and I am going to definitely enjoy my time with my grandson.
Enjoy. Yes, enjoy, Pastor T.
Amen. Amen. Our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor T. You did a lot of work putting that together. Nice job.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I found a lot of things that I didn't know. So it was a good exercise.
And